Today,
Yes.
we're gonna talk about
Oh my gosh.
dun 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 title nightmares.
All right, so question of the week is
Title insurance. Should you get it?
or should you not? Well, let's find out. Let's go over this. But before we do, just a quick note. If you want to get straight to the market report, go ahead and skip to the end, look for the graph, and we'll be going into the details on that. So this is going to be this week's market report. I know we can get a little bit long-winded, so I want to make sure people knew where the market report was. Okay, so title insurance. Okay, so I'll tell what it is.
Yes.
Okay, so title insurance is basically it's insurance for a clear title when you go to sell your home. So there are two types of title insurance, which Kelly's going to go over in just a second. But when you get that title insurance, it's protecting you as the buyer against any claims that may come up from past title issues. Okay, so what are the two types of title insurance?
We have lender's title insurance.
Yep.
This is not optional. If you have a mortgage, then your lender's going to require that you get title insurance.
Because they want to be sure that they're...
They have to protect their assets.
That's right, okay.
They have to protect their assets as well. Should you? As
Yes.
should you well
As
to
should you
do
as
so
well.
as
Yeah.
also.
Okay, so that leads to the
That would
second
be
kind.
owner's title insurance. This is optional. Usually when you get your if you ask for a quote from a title company, they always include it in there, but it will have a little asterisk that says optional,
Yep.
and you should get it.
Okay. Yeah, so why should you get it? Well, we have a fantastic example. We have a
An
couple...
anecdote.
Yes, an anecdote.
We have many of these, but this is our favorite.
This is
one
a
of the most recent.
very dramatic
Terrible.
one, yes. So I'm not going to go into detail. I did a detailed video on this, but basically we had a seller who owned a home that was worth over $3 million and was under contract with a buyer. And about 3/4 of the way through the contract, somebody made a claim against their property, saying that they were the rightful owners of the property.
That's my property, and
Yeah.
I want some of that.
Exactly.
Even though when I had it, it was just a little lonely little lot for like $100,000.
Yeah, she had a $100,000 lot.
Now
She
that it's
was-
improved,
she
many
was,
many
what,
years later.
Four
Yeah.
owners back.
Right.
And then she came, when this was under contract, to a $3 million house and claimed it for
Oh,
herself.
that's mine. That's
Yes.
mine. I
Yeah.
get some of that.
So here's the thing. Once she made that claim, that seller could not sell the home. We had to exit the contract. We actually had the buyer in this contract. We had to
Yeah.
exit the contract.
The buyer who was coming from out of state.
From out of state. So there
already
was all
had
kinds
the
of
house
liability
packed
with
up
that.
and-
Yeah. So the challenge with that is that seller cannot sell this $3 million property, and that seller is at risk of losing that $3 million property if she prevails. So title insurance is actually covering his legal expenses. They're covering everything it takes to fight this claim. And should this lady prevail and she actually does still own the property, the title insurance will actually make him whole. So they'll actually reimburse him for the
Right.
purchase of the home that he did.
Right. They'll basically buy the home from him in essence, because I mean she might be right. Nobody knows.
It does
at
look
this point what
suspicious.
happened.
Yeah. So that's where title insurance comes in. It's
That's
not
huge.
just your next transaction. It's also, it could be anywhere down the chain of title. And then that
Right.
lady has the right to sue any of those owners that had that property during that time frame.
Yeah,
So
no matter how often it changes hands.
Exactly,
Right? I mean, this
exactly.
came up, would you say four
yeah,
later?
and it had clean title every single time
It was
that
shocking.
came through.
Yeah.
So title insurance, should you get it? Based on our experience,
100%.
yes, we always get it for any properties that
Yeah.
we purchase. Okay, so that goes into our second aspect of this for our sellers. So for buyers, yes, get the owner's title insurance. It's a one-time fee. It covers you for life. So make sure you hang on to your documents even after you sell
Really
the
not
property.
that expensive.
It's not compared to what it could cost you.
Yeah.
So that's the thing for the buyers. Yes, go ahead and get title insurance. For the sellers, we actually offer a service for our sellers, which is
We run the preliminary title report before it even goes to market.
yes.
So you don't have to worry about it. One of the things your buyers are going to be concerned about is, okay, everything about the property, really. So they're concerned about all of it. And the more we can go ahead and say, it's fine, this passes, you're great. I almost said passes the mustard again, but then I think people are going to think I really don't know.
And when we when we run that,
Talking about condiments.
just catch up, okay? I didn't catch up.
Yeah, I can.
Okay. Anyway, so when we run this for you, we're doing this to make sure there's clear title for if there are any issues on the title, we can go ahead and handle it before it goes under contract, before that buyer's title company is going to run title, because they're going to run it again. But if there are any title issues, you can go ahead and get that cleared up. There may be an old line of credit that wasn't taken off. There may be something in the past that shouldn't be there. Gives you the opportunity to clean it up, so then the buyer doesn't get freaked out on the backside.
And you never know how litigious your buyers might be,
Exactly.
right? For example, with this, they had gotten so far in it, are they going to try to say, hey, you have to reimburse me for moving expenses, or for staying longer in a lease, or you have no idea what some people will try to get out of it, and it's not because people are bad, it's because they're stressed and
they're scared. Yeah. So title insurance, we say yes to get it, and it's a lifetime investment. It's well worth it.
Yeah.
All right, so what's the mood of the market?
I don't really.
I know you. so
I'm tired. I'm tired. The market is exhausting.
It
is that the mood?
It's pretty much is.
Okay.
It's exhausting. Yeah.
I do know.
So that's good. I like that.
I'm
That was perfect. All right, so let's get to the numbers, pull up the graphs, and we will dive into this. All right. Okay, so here we go with the numbers. So the market is it's still very, very active. There's still a lot of competition. I'll put it like this. I sat down 2 days ago to start scheduling showings and to finalize my schedule for the showings that evening. And I had 7 scheduled for the day and ended up having to cancel 6 of them because they all went under contract. And we had a buyer that was looking to put offers in on 2 properties, and both of those had multiple offers. So it's a very active market. There are some properties that are sitting for a little while. They're making it about 2 weeks or so. But it's an extremely active market right now. There's been some good movement in the market with regards to inventory and so on. So let's go straight into the numbers so you can see exactly what's going on. All right, so as always, orange is the buyer activity. And you can see in the last 7 days, we had an increase in buyer activity. And then we had a equal increase in inventory. So the last 3 weeks, 3 weeks, the last 3 weeks, we've had a significant uptick in inventory, and buyer activity, since it started coming up about right here, has been a very, very steady increase. So buyer activity has been steadily increasing. Inventory has been increasing, but it's been less steady. It's been kind of up and down. So we should see this continue up. You can see that in the second week of March last year, we had a significant, this was the first week of March, and we had a big uptick in buyer and seller activity. This uptick was not as significant. So it's going to be interesting to see as we kind of watch what happens over the next few weeks, how spring is going to pan out. But it looks like a very steady market at this point. So if you go over here to the seller's market side, sellers versus buyer's market, remember the orange line is our neutral market. Anything below is a buyer's market. Anything above is a seller's market. And we had, quite a period here where we were in a nice little buyer's market, and then right around the 1st of January, that started changing. So if you draw a line from here, and you kind of, it's not letting me draw. Here we go. And we kind of come up to these points, and then we go along, and I'm ignoring this high point and I'm ignoring this low point because these were an aberration. You can see that we kind of moved up, and then we had a bit of a dip, but then we had another big influx. So I'm just kind of moving us in the general direction. So it has been an upward trend. I would look at this and say that we are definitely in an upward trend. It's not a straight up trend, but it is still a strong, a good, strong seller's market. So we'll see what happens over the next several weeks, what happens to inventory, what happens to buyer activity. If the inventory spikes as we go into the spring, buyer activity may lag behind it a little bit, but I anticipate that buyer activity will catch up to whatever level the inventory goes to. The only way this turns into a buyer's market, the only way that prices start to kind of make a change is if that inventory spikes and buyer activity does not keep up. And that means we have more inventory than buyers. So we're going to watch it over the next several weeks and see what happens. That's why these weekly market reports are so important, because we can see the trends as they're happening versus waiting for monthly or even national news, especially, but even the monthly market report. That gives us the big idea about what's going on, but it doesn't tell us what's going on in the microcosm as these reports do. All right, if you found this helpful, please be sure to subscribe to our channel. Please share this market report. so we can help get the word out there, because there's a lot of media out there that is telling an opposite story of what's going on right now. So people are making decisions based on what they're hearing on the national media, and they're not looking at what's happening in their market. So we want to make sure that everybody in this market is armed with accurate information. All right, so please subscribe to us, please share this market report, and please let us know if you have any questions. All right, we'll see you next week.